This is Ashley.
And Cindy.
And it's Life for Dummies.
Because we're real dumb.
Yeah, girl. Yeah.
What happens when the four of us are in the same room and we haven't seen each other since leaving the womb, but the hiss of the static means...
Okay, what are we talking about right now?
Right now we're going to talk about your higher power's will. Are you in it or are you not?
Wow. You mean like I can't just live in self-will all the time?
Well, I mean, you absolutely can, but I don't recommend it.
Why not?
Well, usually it's all about self. You're enraging self-obsession. It's self-centered, and it's all about me, what I want, how I can get it, and what I'm going to do to get it.
I feel like that reminds me of a song like me, I. That's like a country song from like the early century.
I'm going to take your word for
from
it.
The early 2000s. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so we can't really do that without producing bad results?
Well, I mean, in my experience, it's always been a bad result when I'm in my will.
Tell me about it.
Well, you know, when I was in my will and I was doing what I thought should be done, my life was like a dumpster fire. I don't even know how else to put it. You know, it was a mess all the time. I was miserable. I was taking mind and mood altering substances to numb the pain that I was feeling because I just didn't want to experience my reality. And that was my will. That was definitely not a loving higher power's will.
For me, it was like I was in self-will run riot, and I didn't understand why I wasn't producing the results that I really wanted.
So what did you have to do to get the results you wanted?
I had to get out of my own way and reach out for help, accepting the fact that my best thinking had gotten me to where I was.
And then that's when you have to turn it over to something greater than yourself that is loving. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, because like basically I was an academic, you know, and had all of these degrees and certifications and things like that accumulated over the years, even working on a PhD by the end of it. And so I thought I was super smart. And so people like with high intellect, and it was really hard for me to accept that, oh my gosh, like I'm the problem. And even though I have this smart head, I keep running myself into the same dang wall and fighting myself on the floor.
I'm just laughing because, I mean, it's very true. I did the same thing. You know, I thought, I'm smart. I can figure this out on my own. I can think my way out of this. And there's no thinking my way out of it. I have to act my way into a new way of thinking, like we've talked about before on here. And that starts out by realizing that I am not that powerful. I don't have all the power in the world. I cannot control everything. The only thing I need to use my will for is to live my higher power's will. And at the beginning, it was very simple for me. My higher power did not want me to get high that day. That was it. And that's how simple I had to keep it. And even till now, some days, it still remains that simple. Like, that's all I know. If you don't get high today, you're going to be okay. And that's just it.
That's hard for some people.
It was really hard for me at the beginning.
Even for some people who exteriorly are high functioning and have their lives together and just want to be able to drink at night.
Yeah. And for some of us, if you're like Ashley and I, that's really not possible. It's just not. You're not capable of being like normal people, right? And when something makes me feel good, I want more of it till it doesn't make me feel good anymore. It makes me feel sick and I'm disgusted with myself and I'm literally killing myself. I'm dying on a daily basis. So I had to get out of my own way, like Ashley said, and allow like-minded people to help me and tell me, like, you're not that powerful. You don't have that much control. But there's something greater than you that kept you alive for a reason through all of this. Why don't you put your trust and faith in that and just do the next right thing?
That's so interesting because I think about how I'm sitting on a chair right now. And I have trust that this chair isn't just going to collapse under me and I'm going to fall and break myself, like in some way. Like I have trust on a daily basis when I get into my vehicle that it's not going to just explode when I'm on the road. It sounds like so nutso, but it's true. I put my trust in things that are exterior to me on a daily basis my entire life. Why can't I put my inner self and that internal part of myself, why can't I put my trust in that regard of that part of me into somebody or something else's hands as well?
Well, because it's really hard because you can't see it, right? It's not tangible.
Interesting. Okay, tell me about that.
So, yeah, I can't see or feel my higher power or touch it. I can't. It's just, that's the way it is. And I have to accept that. But I also have to realize that there's other ways that my higher power communicates with me. And a lot of the time, my higher power communicates with me through other people. Like-minded people who are living the same kind of life that I am. Sometimes my higher power comes to me through the strangest messengers. And I will be like, wow, that was definitely, I like to call it a God shot. Like, wow, that just didn't happen, because I don't believe in coincidences anymore, right? I believe that if I'm doing the next right thing is going to happen, and everything happens for a reason. It works out just the way it's supposed to, as long as I'm in my higher power's will, and I don't have to like it. I usually sometimes don't like the way it's working out, but when I get past it, I see it was for the best, and it's so much more amazing than I ever imagined it would be. If I would have got what I always wanted, oh my gosh, my life would be terrible. It would be garbage.
Terrible. I'm thinking about our friend, right, Charlie, who's always like, I have no idea why this rando girl, who came into my life, like me, dressed the way she is with her long hair, like somehow impacted, my spiritual health. But he was open-minded, and that was super hard for me. And it's not like I was trying to do anything to him. That was his own deal, and I was just like a person around, in his life. But I guess somehow whenever I talked or something, it impacted him. I don't know. But I struggled so hard with open-mindedness because when, I talk about that academia, I thought I knew. I genuinely thought that I knew, and I had thousands and thousands of history and years of tradition and philosophers and all of these different scientists, theologians, anthropologists, biologists, the gamut that I had studied for over a decade almost too. And I was just like, I know. So I don't need to be open-minded. And that was the crux. If I had not moved past that, which you were there, you know how hard that was for me. If I had not moved past that blockade, which I had given to myself, and moved into a place where I could be open-minded to hear these spiritual principles, I would not be here today. I would still be at the bar.
If you were alive.
Yeah, you're right. I was dying.
That part. Yeah. I was just thinking about, so how do I know if I'm in my higher power's will, right? How do I really know that? So I have this theory that if my head and my heart align, then I don't get that yucky feeling in my stomach, like something bad is going to happen. And that's how I know I'm in my higher power's will. My higher power can't just say, no, that's not right. But I get a feeling. I get a certain feeling. And I definitely know when I am doing the next right thing, if it's my higher power's will, And I just have to keep it very simple and not keep asking why. You know, that was my favorite question when I was little. My mom will tell me that all the time. She'll be like, oh, I would say this, and you'd be like, why? Why? I always wanted to know why, you know? And I finally figured out why. Like, if all of those things wouldn't have happened that happened, and that was my question, why is this happening to me? Well, if all those things wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't be sitting here right now where I am today with this amazing life that I get to live, because it is a get to, it is a gift. You know, my higher power knew what was right for me before I even had any idea that he was watching out for me. You know, I gave up on him. He never gave up on me, you know, and it took a lot to get me back to that place. But I am so grateful for every single ounce of it, because now I'm better equipped to live life.
And Cindy and I have different versions of a higher power. Like, the only requirement is that the higher power is loving.
Mm-hmm. That's it. You just have to believe that your higher power loves you and wants the best for you. That's it, you know? And so when I first started living this way of life, I had a very hard time with this whole higher power concept. I was like, you guys are a cult and you're full of crap. I'm not believing that. I'll just say it. That was my thought. Like,
Where's the Kool-Aid?
where's the Kool-Aid? Because I'm not drinking it. Like, whatever you guys, nope, not partaking, you know? And
How about a coffee?
yeah, but I did have this experience. So one day I was at a gas station getting gas, and I reached my hand into my purse to get out money to pay. And when I put my hand in my purse, I actually pulled out drugs.
Wow.
And I had this moment where it was like, you can take this and get what you always got, or you can get rid of it and you can do something different. Well, I will tell you that my higher power was definitely working in my life, because I got rid of it. I didn't take it, and I continued on this journey, you know? And right then when that happened, I was at a gas station. A turkey vulture flew over my car. Like, what does a turkey vulture do? So for a very long time, every time I saw a turkey vulture, I was like, that's my higher power telling me I'm doing the right thing. That's it. That's it. And that's what it was like at first. You know, I don't know, but it served its purpose and it worked. Now over time, it's grown and changed, and it's completely different, and it's not a turkey vulture anymore. But I will tell you, like, when I do see a turkey vulture, I still get kind of happy. I'm like, yep, that's it. Yep, I know. We're doing
Don't
good.
you have one that lands on your house every morning?
I do. There's a turkey vulture that lands on my house almost every morning. I hear it up there. My dogs used to bark at it. And you're like, what is going on? And I went outside the very first time, and there was a turkey vulture on my roof. And I was like, I know, we're doing great. Thanks.
And my experience is I'm in organized religion, and when I first came into this way of life, I did not have a concept of a higher power whom I choose to call God. I did not have a concept of a loving one. Even though I thought I did, I was doing all of these things on a day-to-day basis, trying to be good enough to have my higher power accept me and love me. It was like I wasn't good enough unless I did this or that. And it was just all of these like fantasy thoughts in my head. You know, it wasn't really practical, but unless I worked really hard in this one job and killed myself and made sure that I was working so hard that I was exhausted all the time, my higher power wouldn't love me. Like, that's not real. Like, that's a lie. Because my higher power today is loving. And it's the same higher power I had, and I'm in the same organized religion that I when I started this way of life. I'm still in that same practice. It's just that my concept of my higher power has changed. He hasn't, right? My higher power hasn't. My higher power has always been loving. It's just that I had this false perception or notion because I had so many character defects that really it was me thinking my higher power thought bad things about me the way that I thought bad things about me. So as I've grown and changed. I've learned to love myself, which is actually like the greatest gift I have received to date in life, hands down. The fact that I love myself. And I know that I know that I know my higher power loves me too.
That's amazing. I got the chills. And that is, for me too, the greatest gift that I have ever received is the gift of self-love.
Mm-hmm.
There was a long time I hated myself. I didn't like who I was. I didn't like what I saw. I didn't like any of it. And I did my darndest to try to get rid of her, you know? And that's how I know there's a higher power, you know? That's how I know Ashley and I are surrounded. Whatever your higher power is, if you're still here, it's because you are loved and you deserve to be loved and you are worth it. You know, and that's the thing. We are all worth this way of life. Just be happy, you know, and receive that love from your higher power and love yourself enough to know that you do deserve it.
You absolutely deserve happiness, joy, freedom, love. And it starts with just beginning to realize self-will run riot can truly ruin that joy and happiness. And so stepping forward in trust of other people like Cindy and me, other people who truly want what is best for you and truly want you to be happy, joyous, and free, stepping forward in that mindset and recognizing, okay, maybe today I can trust and I can open my heart a little bit and be a little open-minded to the fact that there could be something out there greater than me, who loves me, who wants what's best for me.
Like, subscribe, keep coming back. We got more good stuff for you. And we love you.
Love you.
What happens when the four of us are in the same room and we haven't seen each other since leaving the